Well, hey, y'all, how you doing out there? Welcome to the Friday night Onward, no matter what conference call. Welcome back to all those who have been here before. Team Onward, I hope you are on the call, and all our adoptees that are in the Onward no matter what group. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so excited. I mean, how about that music tonight? Was that crazy or what? I mean, I was feeling like we were having a party in my seat. Exciting, very exciting. So this is a great, great, great evening. And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons it's great in just a minute. But tonight, I think that this is going to be an over-the-top call. Everybody knows there's a lot of new changes that are coming into the leadership structure of Avon. And I know there's some of you out there that are kind of, iffy, oh my gosh, what about this? And then when you hear too much negative, what happens is you just start talking and hearing negative, and it just stays with you. And you know that ain't no good for anybody. That's why we don't allow that in the Onward group. So, we are going to be talking with one of Avon's greats tonight, and we are Lisa and I talk a lot. Lisa and my husband Lee talk more than I talk to Lisa. And then the three of us talk together a lot. And I feel like that Lisa Wilbur is one of these people who, she has been with this company, has seen things and changes in this company that I know that the only thing I was interested in doing at that time was buying me a lot of Avon. So I figured we're going to hear it from the lips of somebody who has been through bunches of changes with Avon. But before we get to that, as I said, welcome. It's amazing. I don't know if you guys have been checking it out, but I certainly have been, and we are just a few people away from the 5,000 member mark and Onward no matter what. Can you believe that we are only a year old, this group, in March, and we have almost 5,000 members? That doesn't tell me how great me and Lee is. It tells me there's a lot of people out there that want to know how to get this done. They want to know how to be a top seller in Avon. They want to know how to get to the top of the leadership chain, and they want to do it, and they want to do it right. I am here to tell you there's no quick way to do it and substantiate it and to stay at the top unless you build it correctly. I will tell you, if there's 166 senior executive unit leaders in Avon, I'm telling you that would mean that there's 166 different ways to get there. PC, a lot of times I feel like even Avon got away from the whole sales thing. And that's not a good thing, because I have always been somebody who, as much as I believe in the leadership part of this, not everybody is cut out to be a leader in Avon, and I am completely okay with that. But I feel like we have one of the best products out there, and I feel like it is so easy to introduce and share to people. And I believe that it doesn't matter where you're at in this company as a leader, if you're not teaching your team how to sell and you're not teaching them how to make the right now money right now, they're not going to stay to see what kind of a leader they can be, because you have to show them how they can make enough money to keep them coming in. So getting that off the boards here, let me start by personally saying congratulations to all you people that while Lee and I had to be away during our move, we are finally in our house. I'm not going to tell you we're unpacked because we're not, but we are in and we are situated and we are ready to get 100% back into business. So thank you for behaving yourselves on the Onward No Matter What group. I am ready to get this thing started. And I know we have a lot of newbies here. So for all of you who do not know who Lisa Wilbur is, whenever I talk about Lisa Wilbur, she's never Lisa Wilbur. She's Lisa freaking Wilbur. That's what she is to me, because Lisa Wilbur has been a mentor for me, before I ever met her. And many of you feel that way, because if you haven't had the opportunity to be a part of one of her seminars, or to hear her speak on another call, or to see her at an Avon event and be able to hear or read her in the many books that she has been an author in. I mean, let's talk about A View from the Top. Part one, where her story was told, and she initiated that whole thing, and let's talk about writing the foreword of A View from the Top Volume 2, which I am in. I mean, this lady has her hands, The Winner in You, where you can buy products from her site, and she's always helpful in anything she can do. And although she gets paid for some of it, she gives so much freely to help not just her team, but everybody. So I try to model myself after that, her YouTube videos that she has out there. I mean, I am, even though I count her as one of my very dear friends, I am so excited that you guys get a chance to hear her on this call. And look, I have told her she has to come on this call, and she has got to unleash and be real. That she's not speaking for Avon Corporate. She is speaking as she believes this is. She makes some of the top dollars in Avon, people, okay? I mean, I'm telling you, when I see her put her checks up, and this chick is making over $9,000, I have seen checks over $11,000 every 2 weeks. We are not talking a month. We are not talking quarterly. I don't know about y'all, but when she talks, I want to listen because she's there, and that's where I want to be. So I'm thinking a lot of you do too, and that is why you are on the call tonight. So I'm going to tell you she's wonderful, and she loves to help people. Let me tell you what she really likes. She likes to make money. That is what she likes to make, cold, hard cash. So, Lee, why don't you introduce? Woo! Get your money, 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 money. Welcome, Lisa Wilbur. Welcome to the Onward call. You are absolutely our first guest ever on the Onward call. Welcome, my friend.
I am loving it, and I get my own theme song, no less.
Yeah, see, you and Lee, you got that thing going on, girl. You know what I'm saying? He knows exactly how to read you, and he said, when I think of Lisa Wilbur, I think of a lot of things, but I think of dollar signs, too. So, man, if that isn't appropriate, I don't know what is, lady. That's for sure. So thank you very much for taking your time. And instead of being on the phone with us late at night and goofing off the way that we can do, which I absolutely love, coming on the call tonight and just kind of, for lack of a better word, shooting the shit with me tonight and talking about these changes. And, getting your honest opinion on them. I'm going to kind of play the devil's advocate a little bit with you, Lisa, if you don't mind tonight, because I have been, as busy as I have been with the move, I have also been following a lot of the conversations on what's coming and things that people are maybe not so sure about and some things that people are completely negative about. And I truly believe some of this is a mindset. But what I want to do while we're talking about this is I want to kind of be, for lack of a better word, I want to be the person who is whining about everything and doesn't see the good in this or how we should be looking at this. And then what I want you to do is respond to me, Lisa, when we get to things like that and tell me the truth as if I was one of your leaders and you want me to get it. So if you're okay with that, that's the direction we're going to take this tonight.
Yeah, just don't go so far that I'm going, next, okay?
Okay, I promise I won't do the next thing. Absolutely. Okay.
So I go there,
Oh, girl, I get whiny now. I got some whiners, too. I can absolutely incorporate this and be big-time whiner for you. But we'll keep it medium whining for you.
Okay.
So what is your initial feel, Lisa? Before we get into specifics, could you share with us just when you heard about this, the whole nutshell, what was your feel on this when they enlightened you about what they were going to do?
Well, when I first saw the chart and heard about the changes, I actually thought there was something they didn't show me because I didn't see anything I didn't like.
Wow.
Well, usually there's always something. I mean, I don't think you can live through as many changes as I've seen, not just in Avon, but in life in general, and not think there's going to be some part of it that I don't like or have to work around. But this actually solved a lot of issues, and even though some of the people don't realize it, I think over time they are going to realize it, that these will solve a lot of the issues that have been stopping people from growing. And the whole point, I think, of leadership is to get in to grow and earn some money. I don't think it was ever to get in and sit in place and make just a little bitty money. So
yeah, I agree with you.
Prod people to get some growth going. But I was stunned. Matter of fact, Teresa asked me. Teresa Ficara at Avon called me on the side and said, what you're feeling about it. And I honestly didn't have anything negative to say. And it's not that I'm always, hearts, rainbows, and unicorns. Not ever. I tell her when there's something that I don't like, and there wasn't anything that I found so objectionable in this. I really think that they really put some thought into it.
That's great. And on the side note of this, I want to tell everybody out there that immediately when Lee and I were listening in on the changes, we did what we do. We called Lisa Wilbur. We said, okay, what's going on, man? Because I'm not seeing the complete downside on any of this. And it was the same way. And we got the same response from her also. So I thought that was kind of great. And, sometimes I got to tell you, what's really great about having somebody like Lisa on the call tonight is this, or even have her to go to. And this is where Facebook is a huge, great asset to us, because not everybody, gosh, I think about, Lisa, you telling me how when you all have, you still have the Yahoo group, some of them do, but this is just so much, and there's so much interaction in a quicker amount of time. And I love the fact that somebody like you has been through so many changes. I remember the number one thing that you told me when I decided to really take leadership seriously. You, Ray Penn, Mary Ann Penn, all three of you told me, don't get used to anything, because change is the magic word in Avon. You get too used to it, they're going to change it in a minute. But I got to tell you, although I didn't agree with a lot of changes, I think the last time they made changes, I think there were some things that definitely hurt us. And my thing on that is sometimes Avon has to see where it's hurting maybe them and also us, because Avon has to make money in this business too. And I think what I didn't understand in the beginning is it was all about me making money, and that even though I may be making money sometimes, if Avon's not making any money, it's not going to go over very well. So I thought that was a huge thing there. And these changes, I don't see anything bad in them. But what I would like to look at first, if it's okay for you, we know that in C10, we're talking everything coming in, the leadership earning structure, the changes are going to go into effect. And I'm looking at the new leadership levels here. We're looking, they added 2 new levels, the unit leader plus. And I want everybody to know this is not an educational thing, okay? So Lisa and I are not going to sit here and go over what all of this is, because Avon has done very well writing it down on the leadership side of the site. So this isn't about definitions of things. This is about what you're looking at that could be bad. And I want to, Lisa, I'm going to kind of be one of your downline right now. And one of the things I have an issue with, Lisa, is, I'm a unit leader. And, I understand that I only need 3 orders now, but I am looking at this earning structure here, and they're telling me that, okay, I only have to have 3 orders, and I'm pretty excited about that. Okay, I don't have to have 5 active orders anymore. But now they're saying that on my first generation, no matter how much my team sells, that I'm only going to make 3 and 1%. I'm going to make less money now, Lisa. I want to know how that's supposed to be good for me, and you tell me, what am I supposed to do with that? How is Avon helping me with that?
Okay. One thing I did want to say before I get into answering that specifically is that over the years, and I've seen people use this analogy for a different reason, but we're only seeing half of the equation when we see changes come down, because we're independent contractors representing a company, and we don't see the other side of the ledger. We don't see their other expenses, their overhead, all the things they pay for. For example, when they do like the Keurig incentives, we know what we have to do to get one, but we don't know how much they cost or how much their other overhead is, like the employees and all that. So I think a lot of times we have to realize that Avon is like a tapestry, and we're only seeing the bottom side. We're not seeing the whole thing. So we can't really know why they do the things they do lots of times, but we have to realize that they've got to make money too, just like you were saying. So we have to realize that everything can't be in our favor all the time. The corporation has to stay healthy, or they won't have anything for us. So with that said, let me talk about the unit leader thing. In my opinion, they've actually, since I've been in, they've made unit leader a little too lucrative over the years. And what happens is you end up with career unit leaders that have stayed there for a decade and more. And I have some in my downline too. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but that would be like having your child stay on formula till they're 8. You know, it's not necessarily where you want them to be. You want people to move up and earn the money that they want to earn. And the other thing that we should factor in here is that you can make up that money easily on Jumpstart. And with the Jumpstart money, actually, Avon's losing money offering that. So they must be taking some of the money that they would pay in the commission and paying it out in the Jumpstart money. Because if you think about it, I know Lee and you and I were talking about when they pay somebody $25 for having a $50 order, they're losing money. There isn't any money in there for the products in the shipping. So, I mean, we on this side of the table, as a unit leader, can make up that money with the Jumpstart money. But I really was happy that they didn't make it so lucrative at unit leader because there's not a good enough incentive to get out of it. And I don't think
I agree with you, Lisa. I agree with you 100% on me being a senior as an executive or anything out there. You know, I've only been in Avon. It'll be 10 years this month that I have been in Avon, and I know you've been in a lot longer than that. But when I came in and when I made senior, when I was executive for 6 years before I made it, you know, I think that the new reps who come in here have only been in a few years. And in my opinion, they don't realize also how it was. When I made executive and when I made senior, number one, there was no such thing as this bonus that they have. Somebody puts in a $50 order and you get a Jumpstart bonus. $25 for somebody putting in a $50 order. I got to tell you, I was almost upset about that. And in my opinion, I was upset because some people on my team quit working as hard. They really did. I remember saying to Avon, I believe that in a sense you're forming a lazy representative, because I remember working my butt off. And I mean all the time for my business. I knew what I wanted and I worked it off. And so Avon, I think it's great that they're giving them the $25. If they feel they can do that, that's wonderful. But what I've been trying to remind my team, and are you seeing this with yours, is when we were at the Title at Risk 4, and Avon went to that for that time, I was seeing my representatives not make a check. Like they would, for instance, Campaign 6, they would get a check. And then something would happen in Campaign 7, and they wouldn't meet the requirements. In Campaign 8, they wouldn't meet the requirements. And maybe they had the $1,200 or more, but only 3 people put in an order. Or they had big orders and they met the $1,200, but then they didn't get checks for those campaigns. And now what I'm seeing is some of these people who have a few great sellers, and they have some every other orders, every other campaign orders, things of that sort. What I'm seeing is now I'm thinking my people are going to get a check every single campaign. I mean, did you kind of see that, thinking in a unit leader mindset, the fact that now many more people will get a check every single campaign, and all those campaigns they were missing it, now they won't be missing a check?
Well, you know, it's a psychological boost more than just the money boost, is because they'll get to promote. So they're going to get checks and they're going to get to promote faster. So, I mean, it's definitely, that's what I loved when they first said, what did you like about the changes? And I said the fact that you have another level there between unit and advanced, and that the unit leader is low enough that everybody up the line is going to benefit from that. And it's more psychological at that end than it is about the money itself. But
you're right, because it really is a downer. It is a downer when you're like, oh, now I'm getting ready to lose my team, and you know that some of the people are working hard. I find it really is a downer, and that is when I talk to you, this is now when I am feeding my team. I'm telling them, look, this is going to be great. All those people that you have now who only have one or two underneath them who are doing well, yes, you want them to keep building, but now they're going to make unit leader quicker now. That's going to make you a unit leader plus, a new level. How amazing to be able to title, because one of my worst titles was unit leader to advanced unit leader. That was hard for me. I can't really explain why, except we did need 3 unit leaders then instead of 2 when I titled. Imagine that, all you people out there. We needed 3 unit leaders, not 2. And I remember that happening, and that was a hard jump to me. But, man, I would have loved this. I would have sailed with this. How freaking awesome would that have been?
I think people are getting away from what was the original intent of not just this one, but network marketing in general. It never was meant to have the bigger payoff at the early stages. Sales is the right now money. Leadership is the 401k. It's the down the line money. I know when I got in leadership, I didn't expect to make money at the beginning. I expected that the money I earned at the lower levels would have to get invested back in for me to get to senior. My prime objective when I got into leadership was to make senior. There was no other thing that I was interested in other than to make senior, because I didn't believe there was enough money at the other levels. So I think we've gotten away from that as leaders, and all of us, irregardless of whether Avon changes that or not, I think all of us leaders should make sure that our leadership representatives realize that the right now money, sales, this is your long-term money. The more you put in now, and whether you get paid, what you would be worth right now or not, you have to stick it out and go for the bigger money. Because now I'm getting paid way more than what I do right now. So my early investment early on of my time and my money is paying off all these years later in my big checks now. So I didn't earn a lot at the beginning. They didn't have fast start. They didn't have any of that stuff. They didn't have trips, incentives, none of it. And I muscled through that because I believed at senior was the big money, and it was true. So I think we have
okay, but Lisa, hold on. Let me ask you something, Lisa. Let me butt in here 1 second. Lisa, I'm a unit leader now. Lisa, I had got 56 people on my team, Lisa. I'm a unit leader, and by the way, I'm a unit leader. I'm making $300 or $400 as unit leader right now, Lisa. I'm making good money. Avon's going to take money away from me. Now, that's not right. What if I just want to stay a unit leader? I mean, what's wrong with that, Lisa? Why can't I do that?
With 50 or 60 people, I can't believe you're not advanced unit leader. Let's talk about how you're putting your people on, because you should be advanced unit leader under the formula. 1 in 20 will do leadership in a serious way. 56, you should be advanced.
Amen, sister. Bingo, bingo. Did y'all hear what she just said? Why aren't we talking about advanced unit leader? Why aren't we talking about unit leader plus and then advanced? Now they've given us another level. Do you know that when I see people who are doing numbers, they're doing $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 as a unit leader? My deal is, who's not giving them the right information? Those should be soaring to the next level. So why aren't they planning for their future in this residual income of direct sales and multi-level marketing? Why are they doing that? Where does that mindset come from, and how can we help, Lisa, change the mindset for us who are up in leadership and who are looking to go to the next level? How do we help change the mindset of the unit leaders who say, well, I'm making $375 the old way, but now I'm only going to be making $315 with this new way? What is your comeback for that?
Well, you know what, that that actually has not come up among my the first generation leaders in my group are the ones that I would interact with the most. And, none of them said that, and I think that's because everybody that I work with personally that we're working all the time together, we don't talk about the like unit leader, advanced unit leader. We talk about senior. We talk about going on the trip together. We talk about what they're going to do with their car allowance. We talk about what they need to do to make senior. We talk about the higher levels of earning. We don't talk about really benefiting that unit leader, because I think, at least I thought we all understood that unit leader was the start of a career. It's not a career landing place. I don't think anybody really should be getting into this that's shooting for unit leader, because they'll be doing a lot of work and not making everything they could be making, because this is supposed to be long-term residual income where you build a team of leaders. It seems to me that you're not really doing the job if you stay at unit leader with thousands of people. That's not the point of the exercise here. We're supposed to be developing leaders. Developing leaders and building a group of leaders so that at some point you're not doing all the work. If you stay at unit and just keep putting on people and not developing leaders, I don't know, you're doing all of that work yourself, and this wasn't intended to be that. So when no one in my group has come to me and said that, but when someone does come to me, I say to them just what I said to you a minute ago. I don't answer the question. I deflect it and talk about advanced unit leader, or I talk about executive, because I guess I can't wrap my head around why someone would want to stay at unit. Why would they want to, when obviously going up the ladder is more beneficial for you and your leaders, for you to go up the ladder and earn more money, because you have more money to spend on them.
And I'm thinking with this too, I think that as leaders, for those of you who are advanced unit leaders, executives, and even seniors, I have to hold myself accountable here also. I believe that we have to hold ourselves accountable for how we are teaching our teams. And look, you guys know I get very real on these calls, okay? This isn't about calling out any one person, because when I get on a call, most time it's because I've already experienced this myself. Maybe I've done it. Maybe it's happened to me. Who knows what the deal is? And this is why I talk to my upline, Mary Ann Penn, and I talk to people like Lisa Wilbur, and, even some of the executives that are out there. Teresa Paul and I are all the time shooting it back and forth what's going on, because I have to sometimes re-engage. And if I see somebody who's been a unit leader for a long time, I have to look first and say, okay, sometimes I have to own it and say, I really haven't really sat down the way I should and said, is this where you want to be? Is this where you're looking to stay? There's so much more out there. Don't you want what Avon puts on the table for you to earn? Let's figure out how you can get this done. Let me help you. Let me see what's going on here. So I think that, somebody titles and we go, yay, you're unit leader. Oh, you're so awesome. And they are awesome for titling the unit leader. But what happens is the celebration just continues, but they forget that there's more levels to get to. And for me being a senior, I have to tell you, we do about, we're baby senior. We do like 50,000 a campaign, sometimes more, sometimes less. I am so flippin' excited, Lisa, about this new national senior executive unit leader, this new thing. Now, I know, girl, you just graduated on up. They don't give you that thing around your neck. You're already there. You like the top dog with your cape on going on. We say, money, 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 money. Yeah, we singing a song with you, girl. But the thing is, $150,000 in sales. Look, I've always given myself a goal, but I am stoked about having a new level to work for, and it could take me 2 years. It's so funny. Lee has a 2-year plan for that, Lisa. I looked at him the other day and said, "Are you kidding?" I said, "I got a 5-year plan for that with where I'm at now." But the deal is having a plan to get there and think that there is another title to shoot for, because for all you people on the call, and I'm sure, like Lisa just said, shooting for senior executive unit leader, that was what she wanted. I can remember, you all hear me say it all the time, you want to get your S on, man. Maybe right now you're trying to get your A on, and you're trying to get your E on. But I can remember for me it was all about the S. And for years, 6 years, I worked to get that S on. And when I hit that, it was like the mother lode of the sky opening up in heaven. And it's like I could just feel that giant S coming onto my chest, my big chest, coming on my chest, and being sewn on there thinking, man, I finally got it. And there was no greater feeling. But now I have a new motivation. Now, I've always said, I want to be Molly Stone Bibb, but I want to make Lisa Wilbur money. That's my goal. I want to make Lisa Wilbur money. That's what I want to make. And I know what I have to do to get there. But what I have to do now is I have to develop more leaders. I have to make myself very duplicatable so that they can follow what we give them. And I just, for you, I know I've heard you say this, Lisa, and I'm sure you're going to repeat it again as we're talking about it. So I have some people on my team who, no matter what I say, maybe they just decided they're going to be lifelong unit leaders, and if that's what they choose, that's their choice. But, I'm really starting to gather my team and say, we really need to work this. We need to, Avon has given us an extra level in between. We need to take that stepping stone, and we need to go here. Now, if somebody just decides that they want to fold their arms and they're going to take their ball out of the sandbox and they're going to go pout about it, and in my opinion, they're either going to choose to move up and deal with what Avon has, or they can take their ball and go home, because they don't really have a choice, or you can sit and pout about it. If you were to pick one thing for your team, not for you, but one thing with these changes that you feel like is something that they could really embrace in all this, something that is to their positive. I know you talked about the Unit Leader Plus, but we're seeing how the structure has changed. As far as being duplicatable and things that we have to do in this business, what do you feel like with these changes is going to make it easier for us to present to not only people who are already at certain places, but new people coming in? What are you liking about this as far as presentation now?
Well, I want to, if you don't mind, I do want to say something that's not necessarily answering that particular thing.
Sure.
I'm sure you probably know my story from before about working in the convenience store and 11 to 7. And what's funny is back then I wanted to be rich, and the other cashiers that worked with me, when someone would come into the convenience store, they would badmouth the rich people. Them damn rich people, they'd say mean stuff about them. And I didn't. You know why? It's because I wanted to be one of them. And you can't badmouth someone you want to be, or your mind won't let you be that person, because it doesn't want you to be a bad person. And if you think all rich people are bad, your mind won't let you be one of them. So I admired the rich people, and I wanted to be one of them. And sure enough, that helped me earn money. Now, why this is important to us is because senior executives and the national seniors, we really should look at them and think, that's what I want to be like. I want them to get the people above me in the money earning. I always say to them, if Avon wants to give you something and it's better than the rest of us are getting, take it. Take it and suck up and tell me about it, because I want to be you. And if I don't think you're getting really good, nice treatment, I won't want to be you. So, I want to aspire to be them too. And I think all of us should aspire to be people that are ahead of us in the money list, because it makes us better people. And for some people to sit around and badmouth seniors, or badmouth what they're getting, or like the national seniors to badmouth what they're getting, is counterproductive for yourself, because your mind won't let you be one of those if you think those are bad people or you think that what they're getting is not right. So, I mean, I think that's one thing we need to put in our head is that being a national senior or a senior is good, and it's what we want to be, and so we'll pick out role models to follow to be that way. Now, back to what you said. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I love that. I just, I was looking at the structure, and, even being a senior, they know I'm honest on here, but, Lisa, thank God I had to leave because, when you start talking about the pay scale with Avon and you get that chart that we had for so long, it's so hard to keep up. Well, if this person on your team makes up to this point, then you're going to get paid this amount of money. And if this person only makes this amount of money, well, you're going to get paid this. But if this person sells under this amount of money, then guess what? You're not going to make anything. But maybe you'll make point this on this order. When I would try to give that to somebody or explain that to them the first time they got a check, and they wanted me to explain, well, how did they get paid on this? My God, I felt like sometimes I was given a calculus exam right there trying to give it to them. I used to say, look at your earnings statement, man. Avon's going to tell you what you made on that. That's what you made. I personally really like the simplicity of looking at the new earnings that we are going to make, knowing, hey, you're going to make, 3% on this, you're going to make 2% on this, you're going to make 8% on this, 9% on that, on your first gen, on your second gen, on your third, as you're going on. I just absolutely love that. I mean, you may have never had any problem with me. I just looked at the end result, my earnings statement, on a lot of assets. That's all I cared about. But I get those people who do ask me. And I felt like that was a little bit difficult. So my deal is I really like now, I am so even stoked about showing people this new chart and saying, this is what you can earn. So, but look at how this goes up as the levels do. And, we're going to talk about how you can get there and how you're going to develop people just like you. Do you find that that's going to make it easier for a leadership representative in general, that if they are questions, I find on my team they hold back a lot. They feel like if they don't understand something or they can't explain it, it's not real duplicatable per se. I think that they're hesitant when people say, well, how much do you make? I want to know what the commissions are. And not everybody asks that, but they're so scared it's going to get asked that they're a little bit hesitant on that. Do you think that's going to make it easier?
I think it is, and it is easier to explain. And do you know what? I don't ever explain it, and I never have. I probably,
with all the people on your team, how do you do that? I only got the 5 people coming to me.
No, they don't ask you that. I'm surprised they ask you that. And
my God, I hate that. And I say, here's the chart, Lisa. I say, here's the chart.
No, I don't get that. We talk about the higher levels right off, though, too. And I did want to say, right off when someone makes unit or advanced, I talk about the next level, and we keep talking about it till they get it. And somebody that is on the call, I know, Christine, my best bud there, Christine from Concord Lock, when she made unit leader, I immediately said to her, and she can vouch for me on this, I said, I hear AUL calling your name. I said, congratulations, I hear AUL calling your name. So we talk about it immediately, the next level up. So it's not like we celebrate for like 2 seconds. And yes, it's fabulous that you got it, but, don't stop there until we're on a trip together congratulating each other at senior. Then we can stop there for a little while. But I think
I love that. I love that, Lisa. And what I can tell you, Lisa's very true to that, everybody. She's very true to that, because I can remember when Lee and I finally did get our S on and made senior, we were so excited we wanted to call Lisa Wilbur right away and let her know that we had gotten our S on. And when we did, she didn't say congratulations. I believe her words were, it's about damn time. I believe that's exactly what she said on the phone. It's about damn time. How many years has it taken you? But every time she saw us before that, she would say, come on, we're missing you on the trips. What's going on? It was never about where are you at now. It was when are you going to get to senior?
When
are you going to get to
money
senior?
On the table? You were leaving money on the table. That was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
You had senior in you. It was just fighting to get out. You weren't letting her out.
Yes. Sometimes, Lisa, I didn't want to see you. I thought, oh, my God, I got to see Lisa Wilbur again. She's going to say, what's up? And it's not what's up, what's going on with your life. It's why aren't you seeing her? What's going on? You're letting all that money go. And it was so great to hear her say, it's about damn time. It was a relief to hear that, Lisa. I got to tell you, it was a relief to hear it. So that is awesome. And I hope you all are hearing what she's saying. This is not just about whether this is good or not good. Because whether you like it or not, this is how it's going to be, folks. The one thing you have got to get through your head is, if you really think that because you don't like it, that Avon's going to change it, good luck with that. That's all I got to tell you. Good luck with that. This is about a mindset. And I love the way, every time, I always say to Lee, I know you goof off when you're talking to Lisa all the time and you all are talking about life and you're having a good time, but I think every single time that he's on the call with her, there is something that I catch that she says that I go, oh, my gosh, I got to ask her about that, or, oh, I just walked away with that. And sometimes it's nothing complicated. It's just really little. Like, she'll say, I'm talking about a chart that people are asking about. She's like, shoot, I'm just talking about going to the next level. We ain't got time for that chart thing or anything else. I don't want to talk about that, Mom. Let us get there. I love that. And are you hearing what she's saying? You are the one who's helping to create the mindset. And if you've got people who don't want to go to that mindset, then you know what? Why are you working with them? I mean, I've never heard Lisa say that she's ever dragged somebody into leadership, that she has ever dragged somebody to want the residual income. If they come into this and they end up just being a really great seller, I don't think she's complaining about that either. But they can come in and figure that part out. But I love the fact people go, how do you motivate people to want to be in leadership and to go forward? And, she looks at me sometimes. I can remember the first time I asked her that. I never asked her again. I said, how do you get your leaders to do what they need to do? And, she didn't answer me right away. She looked at me, and I thought, damn, this was not a good question for her. I should not have asked her this. And she said, you don't, Molly. You work with the people who want to go further than where they are now. You want the people who, they want to be where you're at. So that means if you're an executive and they're just coming in, you want to tell them where you're going. You're going to get your ass on. But you want them to get to where you're at. And by the way, if they get to where you're at, you're going to make a whole lot of money. Have you figured that out? Your theme song, you can copy Lisa's. It can be your theme song then. I'm finding, we have a question here that's coming over the site, Lisa, that says, how do you communicate with new recruits to help them understand the importance of building their business and setting goals to achieve each level? I haven't recruited anyone yet, but I would like to learn how to set goals for myself that I can translate to recruits. So I'll let you take that one, Lisa.
Okay. I mentioned this before, but there's actually a formula for advancement in leadership that has been true for me the whole time. I've been a senior for 20 years, and I've been in leadership for 21, and most of the big seniors that I've discussed this with, this formula has been true, and that you'll find one solid leader for every 20 active in your first generation. So what's funny is when I want more leaders in my first generation, matter of fact, all last year I was on a mission to have some new leaders in my first. And I didn't start like campaigning to my other first people, asking them to do leadership. I didn't start trying to get them to do it. I added more people. And you know what? Sure enough, people started rising to the top about to the tune of 1 every 20, just like the formula. And you know what ends up happening is, matter of fact, one of my new superstars, I just called her earlier and left her a message that she heard the TV, and that Sarah Munn, she just made unit leader not too long ago. She'd been in my downline for about 8 months. She called me on the phone and raised her hand, and she said, I have a person that wants to sign up over here, and I need you to now pay attention to me. And that did it. I'm like, hey, yee-haw. I see somebody who wants to do the work, and she's going to raise her hand, and now I'm going to go help her. And now her and I work closely together building her unit, and she's got that TV coming already. So, I just keep putting on people. I present the leadership opportunity. I do send postcards to people who sell over the 200 to let them know they're qualified to join leadership. But that's it. I don't try to talk people into it. I don't try to motivate them to get them into it. I don't do any of that stuff. I wait for someone to raise their hand and say, I'm ready to start over here. I got someone. And then that's it. We're going down the road. And her and
so if you feel like, Lisa, somebody doesn't see what you feel like the big picture is for them, they're just not the people to work with. Am I correct? In other words, here's another one. Here's something, the same idea, but I know there probably is no secret, but it's frustrating. When I see the big picture and I can't seem to communicate that to others, I feel like I want it more than team members or the new members as well. So what do you say to that?
The best thing, this is my personal opinion, so you can listen to this or not, but the best thing that I think that I do for my group is to set a good example. If they're not willing to step up and start working and make this work for themselves, there's nothing that I'm going to do that's going to change that. I can't make them see a big picture. I can't make them want to be seniors. I can't make them want to join leadership. The only thing that I can do is set a good example of my own work ethic, my own continuing education program, my own keeping in touch with them. I set a good example. Some people follow it, some people don't. And I just keep going, next, who wants to work with me? Next, let's get going, who wants to go to senior? I'll work with you. Next, here we go. And I don't try to get people to buy from me. I don't try to get people to sign up with me. And I don't try to get them to do leadership. I work with the ones that want to do it. And that's as simple as that. It's not that I'm not interested in the other people, but if they don't want to go where I'm going, I want to take the ones that want to go where I'm going. Does that make sense?
It makes complete sense. And look, Lisa, I have heard you say that. I mean, I've probably heard you speak 3 or 4 times just at seminars and stuff, but I've also heard you just on calls. And what I really admire about you is there's a lot of things, but we won't go into all of them. But this one particular thing I admire about you is that on this subject of leadership and working with your team, what I find is your answer is always the same, but yet I always see the same question thrown to you on this. Lisa, what do you do to motivate your people? Lisa, what do you do when your team doesn't want it as badly as you want? Yet your answer is always the same. Lead by example, and if they are not willing to go where you are going, if they're not willing to work, if they're not willing, then they're obviously not the ones that they should be working for. Lisa, I know a lot of people on the call have heard your scenario before about the Eagles, and I use it quite frequently when I'm talking on the calls. But could we hear it the Lisa Wilbur way about developing Eagles?
Certainly. And when I'm talking about this, I'm not talking about them as a character judgment. Okay, I'm only talking about it from a business point of view. If I want performing eagles on my team, it's a shortcut to start with baby eagles. You start with people who are qualified to be business owners. So for me, matter of fact, doing an online appointment pre-qualifies them for you because they need to have the things that I require my team would be like driver's license, checking account, online access, and a credit card in their name. Very basic requirements, and the $15 to sign up. Very basic requirements to be a business owner. If you're having to talk people in or try to find a way to get them to 15 or all those things, or they don't have the things, I tell them what they do need, and then I say, you know what, go get your credentials in order. Here's some books and an order pad. Go get some orders and show me what you can do. I treat it more like an interview than I'm trying to get them into my business. I'm not trying to get people. I'm trying to sort people to people who want to work and people who want to be business owners. And I think that helps tremendously. And it's a benefit to the other person, because if I'm just signing up people with no regard to whether they actually could make this work or not, I think it burns them because they're unprepared to be a business owner with no internet access. They're unprepared to be a business owner if they don't have any banking associations. I mean, I don't think I'm doing them any favors by not telling them they need those things. Now, I have a lot of people say to me, but you're discriminating against people. And I know a lot of people sign up anybody with 2 feet and a heartbeat. But you know what's funny is a lot of the employees teach that you should sign up anybody no matter what and give everybody a chance. But Avon themselves don't do that. When they're hiring district sales managers, they don't just say, well, you know what, you have an interest in this, we'll hire you. No, they have a lot of qualifications you have to go through if you want to be an employee for the company. And if I'm going to invest money in every single person that comes on my team is an investment that I make. If I'm going to invest in somebody, there's nothing wrong with sorting people out and trying to get the best business owners that you can to work with. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's actually something nice you're doing for the other person, because I think it's mean when you sign somebody up and they have nothing that they need to be a business owner and you're just signing them up to be a number. That doesn't help anybody.
No, I agree with you. And, it took me a while to get that, and it also didn't help that, for a while, especially the last couple of years, I also felt like that Avon was pushing for that. It was just about bringing in anybody. It was like anybody, just get them to sign up. And what I noticed with that is we were have people who weren't performing, and the truth of the matter is most of them that we did that to, we pretty much figured out they weren't going to perform anyways when we were signing them up. So I was a part of being caught up in that, for a while also. I will offer the opportunity is on the table for anybody, and I do have some people who surprise me. They come in, they do really great, but it's not many, and, and I never could understand for a while, Lisa, why you kind of did what you did, and you're right, almost like an interview, like, to come in and say, this is to really be successful in this business. You really do need this and this and this and this. You are going to really struggle if you don't have these things, and that is absolutely true. And I think what we have to remember is no matter what we're being told, I've talked on the call numerous times how Avon district sales managers, God bless them, I would not want their jobs a lot of times, but sometimes, and well, all the time, they're given numbers that they have to meet. And, sometimes it's just about bringing a number in. And for me particularly, I don't like just numbers on my team. I want producers on my team. I want people who want to be business owners on my team. And I will admit to all of you out there that I believe that my journey to senior, taking me 6 years to get there, I will tell you that I believe that was part of my problem, is I really didn't heed to a lot of this. To me, it's amazing to me that you can tell somebody now, you can go get a prepaid credit card. You can go open a bank account. You can go do these things, and when they have that form of responsibility, suddenly I find that they do perform better. And when I really got as serious with the people I was bringing into the business and really doing that and qualifying them, I got to tell you, it suddenly started coming together for me. And I didn't deny, of course, anybody, but the point is the people that I personally went after, I knew when somebody had it together. I mean, for me, the busier the person was when they were handling their life, I realized that's the people I wanted. If I have somebody who tells me they're too busy to sell Avon, they don't think they could do it, I'm like, they're managing being a single mom, they're holding down 2 jobs, they're paying their bill, they're doing this, they know they still need money, show them how to work it into their business. They already have those credentials. And I've got to tell you that when I started practicing what you're saying, I have to tell you that I started seeing the turnaround in my business in a lot of these aspects. I used to be one of the ones, too, you people out there who say, how do I get my team to perform? How do I get this? How? I mean, I felt like I was giving them, giving them incentives, of course, where they could win this, this, and this. But for what I was asking them to do, in all honesty, I was giving them a better gift than what they were doing. And what I realized is just working for a gift, gosh, that's just not, it's like working for the $25, guys. Do you hear it? It's like you go after the $25, and what do I hear so many of you say on here? You're typing, all they had to do was put in a $50 order, and they didn't. Why are you even telling them to just do a $50 order? I sit down with them and say, let's talk about how we can have your first order being $300. It should be doable. You know, just because Avon says you only need a $50 order, if you keep just going after that $25 cash bonus, you're right. You're going to be a unit leader forever if you don't do something else. Why not make the most money you can make off of them? And when I restructured and started following little by little, I mean, who am I to tell Lisa Wilbur she don't know what she's talking about? I mean, if I put my check next to Lisa Wilbur's check, it would look like I'm in unemployment, okay? Let's just put it that way. That's what it would look like. Look, you may not agree with everything she says, but this is what I know. The reason I follow her is because of she's doing something right. Do you all understand? Avon did not give her business. Avon is her vehicle, and she has figured out something that works for her business. And when I find that she gives me things that are duplicatable, then you better daggone sight know that I'm going to put it out there and figure out how can this work for me and my business and my team. Just, you know, people think that because she's earning $11,000 every 2 weeks, that she couldn't possibly know how it is for us little people down here. Well, I don't know. I'm always hearing her remind herself of where she came from. I don't think she really likes to go back to that all the time, but she remembers living in the trailer. She remembers not being able to pay the electric bill. She remembers only being able to eat boxed macaroni and cheese. She knew she never wanted to go back to that. She also made it happen. And she didn't make it happen overnight, but she never lost sight of what she wanted. And when you respect somebody who didn't start with money and now they can basically live the life and the dream that they want to live through hard work and learning from the mistakes. And no offense, guys, I would much rather hear about her mistakes and learn from them ahead of time than to go out and make all those mistakes and then have to take it that long to learn. I did that as a kid. I surely don't want to do it at 50 years old. When you hear what's working for these seniors that are out there, I'm not just talking Lisa Wilbur. I am talking Teresa Paul. I am talking the ones out there, Tawana Lyles, the people who are sharing, and they're putting what they're doing out there. But listen to me. They're not just sharing. They're practicing what they preach. They're doing the actions, and you're seeing their checks go up, and their teams are growing. And if they're doing it and they're doing it right, and by the way, they don't got time to complain because they're too busy working their business and becoming successful with those who want to be successful on their team. To me, they're the people I want to be following. So you need to look at who you're following. You can blow her off all day long. Look, she's doing me a personal favor by being on the call and talking about this. And if you're disappointed because it's not about the whole structure of this, that's not what the call is about. The call is about realizing that if you're a unit leader and that's where you want to stay, you go ahead, baby. You do whatever you want to do. But staying a unit leader no matter what is not why Avon developed a unit leader. They did it because there was a higher step for you to go to. And if you don't want to go there, get out of the way, because I got plenty of people who do want to go there. Stop complaining about what now is gone and start working towards what you can do. We have potential here. You have heard Lisa Wilbur talk about potential here, where you can go. We have got things right now on our plate that are available to you as a unit leader, as a candidate, as somebody who maybe they're going to fall into a unit leader plus in campaign 10. Maybe you're almost to advanced. Maybe you're getting your E on. I am telling you, Avon is giving you things that seniors of the past never had. They had to do it the old-fashioned way, which is invest their money into their business. There were no leads that could be earned. You went out and found your own leads. There is so much $25 cash bonus, they would have laughed at you back then. That kind of stuff did not happen. You wanted this, and that's why you did it, because you saw the potential. I'm telling you, if you want the potential, it's here. If Lisa Wilbur thought there was something bad with this, believe me, Lisa Wilbur is one of these seniors that when it comes to the corporate world, she likes bell bottoms. She in for 5 years, she out for 3 years. They love her for 6 years, they may not like her for a year. Why? Because Lisa Wilbur speaks her mind as far as what she's going to do with her business, not what she thinks of what corporate is doing or Avon's doing wrong. She knows she can't change that. So what does she do? She figures out a way to make it work. I admire that because I was spending too much time complaining about it. That's the truth. That's the truth. You spend too much time complaining about it and sitting on Facebook telling everybody what you don't like about it. How in the world is that helping to grow your team? How in the world is that getting you to your ultimate goal? How in the world is that helping your team figure out what they want and showing them, because they're watching you? By the way, if you're complaining all the time, they're going to be the next ones to complain all the time. If you're the one sitting on your tail not doing anything, they're going to sit on their tail and not do anything either. You have to lead by example. So quit being the unit leader who has people underneath them complaining about what you don't like about the structure. Big hint here. If you don't like what you're making at unit leader, move on up to unit leader plus. And if you don't like unit leader plus, how about getting your A on? And if you don't like not having your A on because you don't like any changes there, then why don't you come on and get your E on? Why don't you quit complaining and use what you've already done and be bigger and be better and figure out what your goals are? Work with the Avon has given us. And why don't you decide you want to make Lisa Wilbur money? Now, if you want to make Molly Stone Bid money too, come on and make Molly Stone Bid money first. But you need to want to make Lisa Wilbur money. Because I know one thing. I want to live like Lisa Wilbur. I want to know if I want to go on a cruise, I can do it any day of the week if I want to. I want to know that if I want to go to a movie 4 times a week and wanted to take my kids or my granddaughter or whatever, I can go do that and not worry about it. I want to pattern myself after people who are getting this done, and I could not think of anybody better to be on my call than somebody who still gets it done every day. Lisa, let me ask you one other question, because, you are one of the biggest seniors in the country. And we know that you have worked hard. It's very obvious, and you have many other things you're doing. You are a motivational speaker. You've got the winner in you. You are out there. You're an author many times over. This book project with the View from the Top, you're getting ready to put together View from the Top Volume 3. You're starting work on that. And I know you've got things that you are doing. You're incorporating stuff into your business. But let's just take your Avon business for a second. And, guys, I know we're running over. We're going to be done in about 5 minutes here. But, Lisa, you've helped develop all these leaders not taking it away from them. They are doing the work. They are developing themselves by the skills that you have shown them. They've taken training, whatever it may be. But here you are where you're at now. As a senior now in Avon, I see you through Facebook, thank God, and talking to you, the life that you enjoy now. But it does, Lisa, does it not? It gets easier. It gets easier because sometimes I think they just think it's always been Smoothville from you, from the time that you hit senior, that it was always just easy for you. Okay, you got your S on and that was it.
No.
It does take some time. I just think they don't hear that, Lisa. Really, she's a senior. She's one of the biggest seniors in the country. But could you kind of just elaborate on, not necessarily unit leader to whatever, but even hitting that top level, how you work, how it becomes easier, where it becomes easier for you? I know you incorporate helpers, people you've hired to do the small stuff. We've talked about that. But where you're at now in your life, how much easier is it now, and how is it easier than it was when you got your S on in the beginning? And may I ask, how long have you been a senior now?
I made senior executive in March of 1994.
Okay.
So I've been a senior for little more than 20 years now. And you want to hear what's funny is I don't remember when I made advanced or executive because I didn't care. But I can tell you what I was wearing the day that I made senior.
Really? Seriously?
That's all I cared about. I mean, I talked about it incessantly. It was ridiculous. Everybody was so glad I made it, so I would shut up because that's all I cared about was making senior. And I think what it was when I first made it. Of course, it was like angels sang in the sky, and I could see that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. But it wasn't easy for quite a while after that, and I can't honestly tell you in that 20-year span when it started getting easier. And it's not like it's easy sailing today. It's just that I'm able to make, a little bit more risky decisions, I guess it is. I can invest more and I can do more things for my leaders because my checks are bigger. By the way, my last check, and I have to post it in kind of a cryptic thing on my page because Avon doesn't, or not just Avon, but in network marketing, they don't necessarily like you to put the amounts that you're earning because they think it gives people an unrealistic view of what can happen. But I always wanted to know what other people were making so that I knew what was possible. So I like to share mine because I want people to know what's possible. And my Campaign 7 check was $11,568.24.
Oh, good God, I didn't even know that. I said 11,000 again. Oh, my God.
On my Facebook wall, I did the baseball one, and it said, Lisa hits it out of the park 11,500 times.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I got to go look. I haven't seen that yet. That's so, oh, my God, Lisa. How freaking awesome is that? I can't even imagine how it feels.
Well, and I pay people to help me do these things. I have a full-time office worker that I've had for 15 years, and I pay people to help me do things I don't like. Like I joke all the time, and I say the best smell that there is in the whole world is the smell of someone else just having cleaned my house. I love that smell. That is like the best
I love that.
In the whole world. And, the things I like, small things. I'm not driving a big fancy car, and I'm not doing stuff like that. I'm investing back in other projects, like the book thing was always near and dear to my heart, the view from the top. I dreamed about that for years. I invest in stuff like that rather than drive a fancy car. But the small things that are different for me is I don't know how much a loaf of bread costs. Because when I go to the store now, and I always dreamed about doing this when I lived in the trailer park, I used to have one of those little red clickers that you had to count the money. And then one time I got up there, and I hadn't clicked it right, and I didn't have enough money for what I had in my cart. Talk about embarrassing. Oh, my God. So now my whole point is I want to go in with the shopping cart, buy whatever I want, go up the counter, and not know how much any of it is. That is like my whole point. And it's funny because I always spend about the same amount, but I don't know how much any of the stuff costs, and I'm always so happy about that.
I think that's got to be a good feeling, not having to count the pennies. And believe me, Lisa, I'm still working towards that. People think senior's easy, and the point is it is easier being a senior than it was being an executive. The money's definitely better, but I'm still at that stage where I'm developing, and that's why I wanted to ask because, I'm sitting, I like to know sometimes, am I at the same place that maybe Lisa was at one time where, okay, she made senior and she's making better money, but sometimes it's not easy, and people get on me privately, behind my back, whatever, and say, Molly's too real out there. She puts too much of how rough it is sometimes in business, period. But I've always felt, even watching my people in my family, any business is rough when you're building it, and it has its hard stages and its hard years. And I feel like I work just as hard, but I feel like I work different because I feel like now I have the benefit of following some of the greatest in the country, and I feel like just all the seniors are great. I feel like I learned something from just about all of them, sometimes even stuff not to do that I don't want to do. But the point is I'm always learning. And I feel like we all have that benefit right now, and there are people like you who are sharing, and so many out there. I look at the Millie Garcia. She's big with events and everything, and what they're doing. And I see how hard people work, but yet they enjoy their life at the same time. And I just look and I wonder sometimes with you, does Lisa ever just sit where she's at in her life, and does she ever say, man, I just never really imagined life would ever be this good? Or did you see that life was going to be?
I say that all the time. I say that all the time. Yeah, and don't worry. I mean, it's not. I don't have a big head over this whole thing, because don't forget, when I'm in my little hometown, nobody knows or cares what I'm doing. You know,
I remember you telling me that.
You always would go, oh, everybody knows who you are. That is so not true. And you know what I mean? And I have to do all the stuff everybody else is doing. I mean, I was cleaning the cat box earlier today, and I do the stuff and of course, Lydia just got over. She used to go, Mom, can you wipe my butt now? I mean, it's like, I'm doing the stuff everybody else is doing. A little hard to get things done when you're wiping a little kid's butt. You know what I mean?
I love it. Look, the only reason they don't think that you're big in your town, girl, is because Lee and I have not been up there to visit you yet, and everywhere we go in your town, we're going to say, what do you mean you don't know Lisa freaking Wilbur? I know who Lisa freaking Wilbur is. Let me introduce you to Lisa freaking Wilbur. That is why nobody else is.
They think I'm crazy in my town. Hey, you know when they shot that video for the Rich and Famous of Avon, that was like a big thing, and people kept driving by that day, and it was so funny because people were honking and making noises and stuff. And I had to go across the street and ask the farmer guy if he'd not split wood while they were doing it. And I'm only dressed up from the waist up. They didn't even dress me all the way up. So I go over to the guy, and I said to him, I'm sorry to ask you this, but could you not do the splitting the wood thing here for like an hour? And he looks at me and he's like, why? And I'm like, I got a camera crew across the street. We're filming this thing. And he looked at me like, yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure I'm out of my mind, you know. But
my gosh.
Things that I get to do and have happened for me, even my relatives and stuff mostly don't believe I'm really doing it. I think they think that I'm just telling stories. So
you love it.
And I love it, but most people think I'm making it up, I think.
Well, I got to tell you something. In the world of, and not just in the United States, but the global world of Avon, you are something else, Lisa Wilbur, whether you believe that or not. That's why people love you, because you don't believe your own hype. That's for sure. And we love you. We love your sharing. We love the fact that you are so real. I love my favorite thing. I knew I was going to love you the first time I saw you speak when Ray and Mary Ann brought you down. You kicked off your daggone shoes and said, I don't like these things anyways, let's get to this. And I said, I love this woman. She done kicked off her shoes and said, no, let's get on with the presentation. And I thought, man, she is so real. I love her. It's the first thing that I thought of. I thought, I understood why Ray and Mary Ann really liked you, because you're so relatable. You're just one of the best. So for us, you are top in our books, and we want to say thank you for gracing us with your presence on the call. Did you say that you had a question for Lisa, or did you not? Did you not just send me? Okay, go ahead and ask Lisa your question. Lisa, watch out.
All right, I have to preface this and put a little background to it. As a senior on the trip, we get to do shots to toast all the seniors who have passed away. So Lisa Wilbur, tell me, who is the king or queen of shots?
Oh, this is so bad. No, I disavowed drinking after the Hawaii trip because of Lee Beard.
Thank you for saying it.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that was a tradition that was so, I don't know, it was so meaningful when there was only like one or two people that we were honoring, but it's gotten a little bit out of hand, I think.
Some of us just can't hang lightweight.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, dear, for coming on and doing our call. We love you and we appreciate you, and you always teach us something every time we talk to you, and we appreciate it.
Well, I had a ball. We had fun. Too bad we couldn't. I had a glass of wine while we were talking because I saw everybody on the Onward page drinking.
That's my loose lips. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, Lisa, I will tell you something else we're doing in 2 weeks, just to let you guys know who's going to be on the call in 2 weeks. We are also going to have another senior on our call. I know I normally don't have guest speakers, but we are, one, I felt like this was relevant, and again, thank you. But we're going to be having Randy Smith and Karen Smith on our call in 2 weeks. They're going to be sharing some things with us, and also they're going to be sharing with all Avon reps who get on the call about their ride of life, honoring the late Sophia Smith. You all don't want to miss this, a way that we can all get involved throughout the company, throughout the whole company and the whole country to make something really great. Sophia, one of the big seniors in the country, and Karen and Randy are both going to be on in 2 weeks on the next call. So you don't want to miss that. We'll be putting that up soon. You guys stay positive. Stay positive. Your team is going to follow you. Make sure that you embrace these changes if you want to go far. And you know what? It's going to go as far as you want it to go. If you want to stay unit leader, you go ahead and stay there and you pout. But if you want to make the big money and you want to talk about exactly what Lisa Wilbur talks about all the time, and she is now not in the single thousands, she is in the double thousands. I think that if you want to get there, you got to do what she does and follow people who are getting it done. So you guys have a great weekend. Lisa, thank you for being on the call again. Lee, thank you for the great music. Onward, guys, no matter what. Don't give up. You've come too far. Keep going down the road. Have a great weekend, everybody. We love you.